The line had barely touched the calm lake when that sharp, entitled voice shattered the peace behind me. "Excuse me? You there!" she barked. I turned, already bracing myself. There she was, mid-50s, stiff blonde bob locked into place, oversized sunglasses hiding sharp eyes, and a clipboard clutched like it was a sheriff's badge. Karen. Not just any Karen, the president of the HOA. And I could tell immediately, this woman was going to be trouble. She strutted toward the dock, heels grinding over gravel with the drama of a siren arriving at a crime scene. "This is private property, sir. Fishing here requires a permit." I blinked, steadying my tone. "You sure about that?" She scoffed like it was the dumbest question in the world. "Of course. I run the HOA. This lake falls under our jurisdiction," sighed the way. Arrogance almost made me laugh. I sat back in my chair, calm but deliberate. "Lady, this lake's been in my family since 1972. That sign you walked past? The one that says private lake? Trespassers prosecuted?" "Yeah, I put that up." Her lips parted, faltering for the first time. "That can't be. This area is within the Lakewood HOA district. I have maps." I smirked. "You might have maps, Karen, but I've got deeds." Her eyes narrowed. "You can't just claim ownership. Show me your permit, or I'll have security remove you." There it was. The threat. I stood slowly, careful not to let my temper do the talking. "I don't need a permit to fish in my own damn lake." She gestured sharply toward the little security cart parked up the trail. The guard inside, sipping iced coffee and trying hard to look uninvolved, perked up as she waved him over. "Call the HOA board immediately. We've got a violation," she ordered. The poor guy hesitated, then reluctantly lifted his walkie-talkie. I shook my head, almost laughing at how absurd this was getting. "You really don't know what you're starting, Karen." Her smirk was smug. "Trust me, you'll be fined for this." What she didn't realize, what was about to make her jaw drop, was that I didn't just own the lake. I owned the very land her precious HOA sat on. And I was done keeping quiet. The guard rolled up on his cart, scratching his head. Ma'am? What exactly is going on here?" Karen stabbed a finger toward me like I was some criminal. "This man is trespassing on our HOA lake without a permit. Remove him immediately." I sighed, then reached into my tackle bag, not for a weapon, but for the black folder I always carried for moments like this. Flipping it open, I handed the guard a crisp document. "To clear things up," I said steadily, "this lake, the dock, the trail, and everything beyond those oak trees, that's mine. Been in my family over 50 years. Never HOA property." Karen didn't even glance at the pages. "Anyone can print that. Proves nothing." The guard skimmed the document, brows shooting up. "Ma'am, this shows his family owns parcel 109L, which includes Lake Dorston and the surrounding acreage." Karen snatched the papers from his hands, flipping, threw them in a fury. "This has to be outdated. Our HOA map shows this area as common grounds." I reached into the folder again. "Updated survey from last year, notarized, county filed, and here's a zoning board letter confirming. This land is not under HOA control." The guard gave a low whistle. "Looks solid to me." Karen's face twitched, lips trembling with denial. "No, this is some kind of trick." I stepped closer, my voice firm. "Karen, this is the last time. You stormed onto my property, accused me of trespassing, and tried to fine me for land you don't control. That's harassment." Her complexion went pale. Still, she pulled out her phone with a shaky hand. "You know what? I'm calling the sheriff. Let's see what they think." I smiled. "Do it. I'll show them the same paperwork, but once you make that call, this becomes official, a legal matter." She faltered, then tapped the dial anyway. "Yes, I'd like to report a man trespassing, refusing HOA regulations." She rambled, twisting the story to paint me as the aggressor. Fine. Two could play that game. I pulled out my own phone, not to call the cops, but my brothers from the Marines. Karen wanted legal warfare? She was about to find out exactly who she was messing with. While she ranted into her phone, the sound reached me. The low, familiar rumble of tires crunching down the gravel road. Backup had arrived. And then, what I'd been waiting for rolled into view. A matte, black pickup, Marine Corps flag fluttering proudly from the bed, eased down the gravel path. Two more trucks followed tight behind, convoy style. Doors swung open almost in sync, and out stepped my brothers, 3 Marines I'd served with, and one of their sons wearing a sheriff's cadet uniform. Combat boots crunched against stone, postures sharp and disciplined, the kind of presence that makes people think twice about their choices. Karen's voice cracked mid-sentence as her eyes landed on them. The security guard? He suddenly decided this was way above his pay grade and backed off. I walked up to the lead truck. Appreciate you showing up. Rick, tallest of the crew, clapped a heavy hand on my shoulder. You said HOA trouble again. Figured you might need a little backup. Karen lowered her phone, darting frantic looks between them. Who are these people? I answered before she could work herself up further. Friends, brothers, witnesses, if it comes to that. Her throat bobbed as she swallowed. You can't just call in an army. This is a civil issue. Rick stepped forward, folding his arms across his chest. Ma'am, my nephew here is training with the sheriff's department. He's recording everything. And what I'm seeing looks a whole lot like harassment on private land. Karen spun toward the cadet, desperate. Are you even authorized to be here? He calmly flashed his ID. Since this isn't HOA property, ma'am, I've got every right to observe. Same as you had barging in. Her finger jabbed toward me. He's ignoring our fishing permit rules. That lake belongs to... I cut her off. Go ahead, Karen. Show them. Show them one actual legal document proving you or your HOA control this lake. She flipped through her clipboard, shuffling papers, stammering. But it was useless. Nothing she had even came close to the certified deeds I'd already laid out. One of my Marine brothers shook his head. Lady, you really messed up this time. Her hands trembled. I didn't know. You didn't ask, I said flatly. You just assumed, like always. That's when the sheriff's cruiser finally rolled in. Sirens off, but the red-blue lights still spun across the water. A grizzled deputy, late 50s, stepped out with the calm authority of a man who'd refereed neighborhood feuds his entire career. He gave the cadet a nod, then scanned the scene. What's going on here? He asked. Karen straightened her shoulders, eager to reclaim her stage. Officer, thank God. This man is fishing without a permit on HOA property. And these men, she flung her arm toward my Marines. They're escalating things. The deputy's gaze swept over us, then lingered on the calm lake. Finally, his eyes landed on me. You the fisherman? Yes, sir. I handed him the folder. Original deed, updated survey, zoning board confirmation. All of this, lake, dock, shoreline, belongs to my family. HOA has no authority here. He flipped through page after page. Karen jumped in, her voice shrill again. Those aren't real. He probably forged them. The deputy raised one finger, cutting her off mid-word. After a long pause, he grunted. County seals are here. Survey's certified. This is solid. Lake's not part of the HOA. Karen's jaw dropped. That's impossible. I've lived here 10 years. The deputy's stare hardened. And in those 10 years, did you ever once confirm the property lines before enforcing rules? Her mouth opened, closed. Nothing came out. Didn't think so, he said dryly. Then to me, sorry for the trouble, sir. You're well within your rights to fish or do anything else legal on your land. I nodded. Appreciate it, officer. Karen tried one last swing. But he didn't need to bring in a whole group of men to intimidate me. The cadet, still filming, didn't miss a beat. Ma'am, you called the sheriff. He called his friends. That's not intimidation. That's called being smart when someone's harassing you. The deputy let out a breath. Here's how this ends. Ma'am, you're leaving this property now. If you come back without cause, the landowner can file a trespass complaint, and I'll support it. Karen's face drained white. But I'm the HOA president. Not here, you're not, the deputy said firmly. You've got no power on this land. She gathered her clipboard, heels clumsy against the gravel as she shuffled off, in silence. No apology, no glance back, just the defeated retreat of someone who finally realized she couldn't bully her way through. My Marine brothers clapped me on the back. Handled it like a pro, Rick said. I looked out over the still. Water, sun glinting off the ripples once again. She thought this was about a fishing pole, I murmured. But today Karen learned exactly who owns this land, and that her HOA rules don't mean a damn thing here. Karen thought she ruled the lake, but I had the deed. If you enjoy watching HOA Karens get knocked down a peg, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more real justice served.